On the start of this workshop, I'd like to talk to Mr. Ibrahim As-Saidi. This issue of the Yemeni students all over the world having these problems of receiving their money, or so this is not a new issue. This has been dragging on for a few years now. As I understand, it started in 2016. And so far, there hasn't been a real attempt by the legitimate government to tackle this problem. Here, we're trying to set up this workshop in an attempt to try to solve the problem internally, meaning the students will talk to their official government to solve the problem. And this is what we're going to do first. But if that's not going to work, what are the options that we escalate the issue on an international floor? Can you give us your view on that?
Well, thank you very much, and I thank all the participants in this particular workshop. I commend your effort, Doctor, in this case, taking care of this issue. It's a very delicate issue, especially during this time while we have the war, as well as we have people outside like students. I think, as you said, the first channel we should tackle is to go through the government channels, you know, the Yemeni government. That is one. Step one. Step two, we are in the position or we are preparing some legal assistance from an international lawyers as we manage the case internally with the Yemeni government. We will take that as an evidence, and then we will put that forward to the specific international body. It could be one of the bodies in the United Nations, or as well as with the members who are providing these scholarship to these students or those students across the countries where they are residing. As far as they went deep to this to the subject, I understood that most of the these scholarship, most of them are being given to the Yemeni government for free, the seats in the universities, you know, and some parts are paid, some parts. But apart from this, there is an issue as the students, you know, having the issue of having their, let's say, salaries, the monthly salaries or the quarterly salaries they receive from the government as a subsidiary or a substance for substitute for their living, you know, in these countries. In most cases, these countries are not expensive. Most of the countries are not as expensive, you know what I mean? So the government is not paying a lot for the salaries or the monthly salaries they give to these students. What we need, in my opinion, is we need to have a calculation of how many students in each country, what sort of scholarship they have, so we can categorize the issues. And then each category, what problems they face. Are they facing similar problems or are they facing different problems? You know, I mean, if we manage to have all these details in place in a pool, for example, by the students, by the union, the students' union in each country, I think we can come up with a good vision of what we are coming up against, in my opinion. I'll make it short, and I would like to hear from you, Doctor.
Yeah, well, that is clear, very clear. But what I wanted to mention is I've talked to some of our colleagues in this workshop already, and we don't want to start from they have already done something. They told me that they have even tried to file a lawsuit in Yemen against the High Educational Ministry. So we will get through what has been done, and this idea of collecting information is very critical. I agree with you. And therefore, we in the Careem integration platform had set up a firm where we can collect information from all over. We will go through that during the workshop and see whether we need to modify it and improve it. The idea of what we want to do now is to start a procedure, start a step-by-step process to make sure that this problem is tackled once and for all correctly. We know there is some level of corruption, can be very high, but corruption is one part of it. The second part is a lack of good administration ability. People that are in charge of this file are not really capable to do their administrative work correctly. And the third part would probably be maybe political. And the politics cannot be left out of this. So many things we have to discuss through this workshop. We will do that with our friends and colleagues that are already joining us. And the idea of collecting information that you mentioned is a very good one, and we will see whether this already recommended process will be acceptable by all. If we all agree on it, then we might just implement it and make it official. The workshop will be at the end will result in some sort of a document, an official document that will be supposedly agreed upon by all participants in the workshop. The workshop is not going to be one meeting, it's going to be several meetings, but this is the start of it. And the reason why we did this in English, again, as I promised some friends, that we need to bring the international IPNA into the stage. So thanks again, Mr. Ibrahim. I don't know if you want to add some more points, but I think we're ready to go back to the discussion with our colleagues in the meeting.
Yeah, no, Doctor, I think it's let's make it simple for the clarification for the the non Arabic speakers, simple and clear, and we will then, as you said, highlight that in an official document, and we will highlight the points in English as well then.
Okay, then. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim. Let's go back to our guests and colleagues here. We have a very effective group that has been really pushing for this, and this is the guys in China. السلام عليكم إخواني الأعزاء. الآن سوف لازم تحكي بالإنجليزي. سوف نتحول إلى اللغة العربية